If Harry Potter goes back to Hogwarts, he will be in mortal danger.
When I was 10 years old, I loved Harry Potter. I loved Harry Potter so gosh darn much. And you know what made it so special? That every 1 or 2 years, something completely new came out. Something fresh, something big like a movie or a book or indeed a game. Back in 2003, Harry Potter was everything. He was a boy, just like me. But unlike me, he went to a magical school of wizardry, while I was left going to my ordinary school, watching him from afar, reading about his every move. In short, I was just like every other gosh darn kid in the world in 2003. Harry Potter was everywhere, and for good reason. But you know what I did that not everybody else also did? I was one of the lucky kids who owned a PlayStation 2 back then, and who therefore got to play Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets in all its amazingly beautiful graphical glory. That last part is not a joke, by the way. When this game came out, I was actually amazed by how it looked and how awesome the cape physics and the spell effects were. Love me some gosh darn good cape effects. I guess the reason why I'm telling you this is because in an era where the mainline Harry Potter books and movies are all done, that god-awful spin-off series is over, and the mastermind behind it all has gone completely off the rails in more ways than one, there was something here once. Something that wasn't just another movie or a book. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on PS2 meant so much more to me than I could express at the time. But hopefully, I can try to convey some of these feelings right now, almost 20 years later, fully aware that the man who made the soundtrack to this beautiful game was none other than Jeremy Soule. Yup, Jeremy Soule. Yes, that guy. I know, right? No wonder it's so iconic. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets has a score of 71 out of 100 on Metacritic. And you know what? That's totally fair. I would even say that's more than fair. But as a 10-year-old, this game was crack cocaine laced with Wingardium Leviosa. It had an easy opening at the Weasley's house where you'd toss some garden gnomes and fight a washing machine. But believe me, Chamber of Secrets was not afraid to make kids shit their pants. And no, I'm not talking about the 5-minute long loading screens. You know the scene in the movie where Harry mispronounces Diagon Alley and ends up in this weird sex shop for Death Eaters? Well, the same thing happens in the game, but now you're the one who has to get out of there. Yeah, this is freaking scary, isn't it? Jeez, listen to this fecker.
That door's locked.
I'm serious, listen to it, it's so chilling. And the game is just full of these horrifying moments. Getting to Hogwarts is no easy feat, as we have to trek through a godforsaken forest and fight a giant tree. But once we're out of there, meeting Snape feels like being met by a knight in shining armor, and that should tell you something about how scary I found these first few moments in the dark. But even before we can head to the proverbial and literal bed, which is a daily routine by the way, since every day is like a real day where we have classes and do various tasks, it's actually a really cool system which made it feel like you were a part of the school as the year went on. And as a kid, that really meant everything. But like I said, on this first night, we can't even go to bed because Ron absolutely needs us to go say hi to his brother and their highly illegal bean shop. So how's that scary, you ask? Well, for some insane reason, we have to sneak past Ron's other brother, Percy, who's a prefect with the license to literally kill children on sight. And I'll give you a short taste of how the scene, again, the very first Hogwarts mission, plays out.
Huh?
Flibbity gibbet.
What was that?
Did you see that? Not only do you not know where the flip Percy is in relation to Harry because of the camera angles, but that picture moves so crazy slow it's actual torture. Oh my god, I can't believe this game was rated E for everyone. We say hi to the Weed brothers, buy some nonsense with this messed up bean currency going on, and then leave. But guess what? We have to do the same thing all over again, only now in reverse. Unless of course you found the secret shortcut passage, but you still have to hear the music and be fearful of this monster once again. Luckily, we can toss a flipendo his way the next morning and reveal him for the sussy baka pussy he really is.
Haven't you got flying first thing, Harry? Better get moving.
Ow!
Back in the common room though, and you'll not only hear the amazing Gryffindor common room theme, but you'll hear Ron say the same thing he'll say every day for the rest of the school year.
Okay, Harry, it's been a long day. I'm really tired and I'm off to bed.
The next morning is when the full Chamber of Secret experience begins. We wake up in the delicious bedroom, walk down into our equally delicious common room, and enter the glorious halls of Hogwarts, all to the tune of yet another beautiful and nostalgia-filled piece of music. There are so many halls here, so many floors, so many stairs, so many classrooms to visit, even those with no real classes in them. The fact that the entire school was so open like this, the way the sun seemed to shine through the windows and into the lecture rooms, the echoing sound of opening a door, the insanely murderous remarks made by Malfoy.
Ah, Potter. Heard about that Willow incident. It would have been really terrible if you and Weasley had been killed in the crash.
It all just made Hogwarts feel like home, somehow. We could even enter the Great Hall and just vibe in there, or we could go outside, touch some grass, and explore everything outside of the castle. Everything is so nice and sunny, so green, accompanied by students standing around chatting, and the best gosh darn nostalgic music in the game plays. If the castle itself wasn't cool enough, it was totally possible to explore every nook and cranny of the outside, running around virtually everywhere you wanted, and the further away you ran from the main hall itself, the more foreign and alone everything seemed, even though I still remained on the school grounds. Now hear this though. Later in the game, we even get to fly around on the gosh darn Nimbus 2000 and explore the outside in a free fly mode. Like, if this game wasn't crystal meth for kids, I don't know what is, and I thoroughly blame Chamber of Secrets for my current addiction. That was a joke, by the way. My only addiction is to crackling oat bran. So yeah, we could flip and fly wherever we wanted, and go see Hagrid even, who, much like Ron, loved saying this.
Blimey, I'm really flippin' tired. I bet you are too.
Honestly, if I didn't play this game myself, I'd have no problem believing that this game was a dream or a lie or something. It really was that good. A big part of the game was that we had to attend classes as well, which often meant going through these large challenge rooms which contained both puzzle and fighting challenges, and you even got a mark depending on how well you did. For me though, these challenge classes were never the most fun since they were usually quite scary, and the same went for the overnight activities where we had to walk through libraries or rooms filled with prefects like Percy. Again, this game is hella scary, and whether it's lady ghosts that are honestly kinda hot, or even prefects, my 10-year-old self always made sure to turn down the volume to exactly 0 whenever I entered one of these rooms and had to panic attack myself into running away from them. I swear I still can't believe this game was rated E for everyone. Just take a listen to how much scarier the Hogwarts grounds are after dark. where we flipping have to run around just because stupid Neville Longbottom somehow got lost behind a flipping wall carpet and can't get around without a darn scissor spell. What I absolutely love though is that a place that seems terrifying at night is able to be visited and enjoyed during the day with a completely new approach and music. It's the little things, you know? One of the absolute best things though were the Quidditch sections. I loved everything in Quidditch, and it was a joy to put on that red uniform, fly around the stadium, and catch that golden snitch before the opposite team did. This minigame had such potential that it was eventually turned into its own complete game, which I think is awesome, and which I kinda hope they would remake, to be honest. Harry Potter is more than just running around and exploring though, of course, and we do get the main story beats from the movies as well. These integrate fairly well with the rest of the game, I would say, as this first instance of something nefarious going on is happening while we're returning to our dorm, but during the night. So everything just kinda seems more scary. And things do seem especially scary, especially when all you're trying to do is get back to the common room and this sound comes on out of nowhere.
Come to me. Let me rip you. Let me tear you. Let me kill you.
Again, it's a great way to integrate the story into the gameplay, even though not every instance is as well done. Like when Harry comes across Tom Riddle's diary, which in the movie is a rather suspenseful scene, but which in the game is, well...
Harry went to bed before anyone else in his dormitory that night, mainly because he wanted to examine Riddle's diary. He sat on his four-poster and flicked through the blank pages until...
Hello, Harry Potter. My name is Tom Riddle.
I'm at Hogwarts and horrible stuff's been happening. Do you know about the Chamber of Secrets?
Of course I know about the Chamber of Secrets. In my 5th year, the chamber was opened and the monster killed a girl. I caught the person who'd opened the chamber and he was expelled.
Yeah, not the best. I think the characters are voiced for the most part fairly well, with perhaps Harry himself standing out as one of the worst ones, although he too is okay. And even though he may sound a bit like that creepy old dude in Family Guy,
I know you're not the attacker, Harry, but I must ask you whether there is anything you'd like to tell me. Anything at all?
the characters in the game, like Dumbledore, are really well designed, actually looking kinda timelessly beautiful in their own way. Not at all like the unique beauty and acquired, refined taste of the PS1 Hagrid and PS1 Ron. At least here, Ron makes a smart remark like this one.
Harry, I think I've just understood something. I've got to go to the library.
What does she understand? Loads more than I do.
Chamber of Secrets has some truly awesome scenes you'll recognize from the movies right away. But it is rather paradoxical that some of the most suspenseful scenes are either just pleasant chit-chats with Voldemort himself, or completely without that scary music when we're actually meeting him face to face.
Let me tell you about the real reason Ginny's like this. She's been writing in the diary. My diary for months. I grew stronger and stronger on a diet of her deepest fears until I had enough power to start pouring a little of my soul back into her.
What do you mean?
It is kinda crazy though how much of an epic track the last Basilisk boss fight is though. Just listen to this orchestra choir thing coming on out of nowhere. And that was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on the PlayStation 2. I guess what I'm trying to say is that in this game, it's not necessarily the story or the classes that's the best, but rather the overall experience of being a kid running around Hogwarts, checking out the classrooms, meeting your friends, talking to the other students, talking to Snape while only reaching him to his belly button.
You may believe, Potter, that everyone at Hogwarts is impressed with your so-called heroics in the Chamber of Secrets. But not me. I am not impressed at all.
And taking in the sights of Hogwarts from the skies. Even though the game has some rough parts and sharp edges, everything sort of comes together so well here, and creates an extremely charming package which continues to fuel my nostalgia so many years later. I love the Chamber of Secrets for its unique approach to the Harry Potter universe, in my opinion the best one, and I hope that we'll see another like it in the future, perhaps with that Hogwarts game coming out and all, even though I have my doubts about that one. I spent over 200 hours in Chamber of Secrets as a kid for a reason. I was completely enchanted by the freedom of Hogwarts, by the magical music, by the structure of a school system with classes and practice, and the indeed literal magical world of Harry Potter itself. It's by no means a perfect game, but it did try, and at the very least ended up being a charming and enthralling experience, priming me for this nostalgia trip years later. And that is at least worth something. Thank you so much for watching, friends. Were you old enough to play this game when it came out? Or any of the other OG Harry Potter titles? If so, what do you think of them now? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you enjoy what I do, I hope you leave a like, a comment, and consider supporting me on Patreon. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.